This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
He has time.
He's got the left side. Dobbs is there. Leaping grab. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the Morning. How you doing this morning, brother?
Oh, not too bad. Actually slept normal last night and didn't feel like I was half dead when I woke up.
Oh, a normal sleep day, huh?
I know. Fucking shocking.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I was gonna say, because usually I'm waking up 5-6 times during the fucking night. Gotta fucking flip around like a rotisserie chicken. I fell asleep fucking last night, slept damn near the whole night, got up one time for like 5 minutes.
Jeez, look at
I
you.
fucking know.
Adult type person now. Jeez. Oh, that's more craziness over here, but it is what it is. I am exhausted this morning. So we reversed roles.
Today I'm the one with the energy and you're half dead.
Pretty much.
Can we ever get a day where the Kens are on the same page?
We can sure try. I mean, jeez. So another pretty quiet day in the NFL yesterday. I did watch Concussed finally. Well, hold on. There is some stuff. Brown signed wide receiver Deontay Johnson. So another signing for them. Safety Geno Stone and the Bengals did a restructure on his deal because they're still trying to free up some money to do some other stuff. Oh, here's big news. The Ravens released Justin Tucker yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's got to make you feel like there's a lot of fire to this smoke. Because usually when you hear stuff like this, the team waits for the investigation to come out and the NFL to release the results before they release a guy or something like that. With them moving this fast, that don't look good. I think he might be getting railroaded because he might be 100% guilty with this one. And I use the qualifier might be.
Yeah. Real quick,
I'm not in the room with them.
Before we go back to Justin, Amari Cooper may end up back in Dallas. And the Rams are restructuring the staff for who they just re-signed. Yeah. B.J. Thompson was waived by the Chiefs yesterday. The Packers waived wide receiver Tulu Griffin. Oh, there goes the receiving core.
Yeah, I know. That one hurt me so bad when that happened.
The Chiefs signed two of their draft picks yesterday. And that's about it. But back to this Justin Tucker news. Interesting news on Justin Tucker. I wonder how long it takes Justin Tucker to get a new contract with a new team.
I do not think he gets a new contract at all this year because that investigation is going to take a while. And it wouldn't surprise me if his career is just done. Because not only does he have this shit, but remember last year he was missing a lot of kicks too.
Morning, Nicholas. Morning, Bill. Yeah, but you know what, though? If you're a team that needs a kicker, you don't care if the investigation takes all season, concludes when the season's over, and you've won games.
You saw what happened with Cleveland's fan base when they brought in Deshaun Watson, how much hate they got from their own fans. I can't see another team wanting to go down that path.
That's going to be interesting.
Especially for a kicker.
Yep.
Cleveland took that risk for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Tucker was missing like 50% of his kicks last year.
Mm-hmm. It'd have been one thing if Tucker was still that automatic guy was just drilling him perfect from 50 plus all the time. Maybe you might get somebody to take a flyer to say, oh, we'll take the heat that comes with this because we know he's going to win us games. Now he's just another kicker, and we're going to get all this heat. So
last year he did a little bit of a down year, missing 8 field goals and 2 extra points. But he's still one of the most accurate in NFL history. He's going to be designated a post-June first release, which generates $4.2 million in cap savings. And they pick up
we still have to see what the investigation says. Because what if it says that he actually did it?
And they pick up $2.8 million in dead cap money. So it's a $6 million contract. And now the Ravens need a kicker. And like Joseph, what if it comes back and all is good, right? I mean, not the best for the Ravens. I mean, it's good morning, Paul. It is an interesting situation with Justin Tucker. They can't release Deshaun Watson though in Cleveland because of the way his contract is. That they're stuck with him for this year. But if he's out injured all year, they get some cap savings and whatnot. But Justin Tucker's different than Deshaun Watson, though, too, because Justin Tucker is a bona fide Hall of Famer, right? Like he's got.
Hold on. Before all this stuff, he was a bona fide Hall of Famer. This might exclude him.
He's one of the best kickers in NFL history. So it's like if you're needing a kicker this year, and it's like, okay, well, this thing could take the whole year. Why, if you're the Raiders, for example, I'm not saying the Raiders need a kicker, but let's say you're the Raiders and you need a kicker. You would kick the tires on Justin Tucker right now.
The Raiders is a bad example because Raiders don't even hire guys with domestic violence, let alone sexual assault. Because of Freddie Bolitnikoff, his daughter was killed in a domestic violence situation, so the Raiders they'll absolutely not touch somebody in that.
Not the point.
I know what you're saying, though. I was just pointing out that the Raiders.
I mean,
not a good example. But I get what you're saying. There's a team that'll kick the tires.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay can kick the tires. Detroit can kick the tires. I don't know if the Vikings will. The Bears might consider it, but his range is not better than Santos. Santos is pretty damn accurate within 50, so. Unless you're kicking 55 yarders, they're not kicking the tires on them because they've already got an accurate kicker. But there are teams who had kicking issues who might kick the tires on them.
That's why I'm glad we already got McManus. We don't need to add that into Green Bay.
What about Chicago? Santos can't kick 50-yarders.
Well, no, he can kick under 50. He's fucking perfect. Over 50 is where he's a little average.
That's what I'm saying. Doesn't Tucker hold the record?
But his lawn kicks went way down this year.
Yeah.
I know. I was just throwing it out there.
Well, I had already mentioned Santos, but yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, Paul, we fly him in for shows. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, Tucker's going to be interesting. What if he's got a market A? And I think we might be surprised about what that market could be, especially if he gets cleared. I mean, there are a lot of teams who would want to have him on that roster if he gets cleared. The Bears included, I think. Let me see if I can pull up his numbers from last year. There's different ranges.
Yeah, just from what I remember last year, he had quite a fucking bit of the kicks, especially if they were from 50 yards out. I think he missed more than he made, and by a staggering amount from past 50.
All right, so his long last year appears to be a 56-yarder. A couple games he didn't even kick. Let me get a better stat line. Maybe this would be better. So his long was a 56.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you, Paul.
Last year was his worst year as a kicker at 73% on field goals. He was 4 from 4 from 20 to 29, 7 for 7 between inside 40. From 40 to 49, he was 5 of 8. From 50 plus, he was 6 of 11. His long was 56, and he was 2 extra. So it was a down year for him last year, for sure.
Yeah.
I could see some people kicking the tires.
Yeah.
Man,
depending
Bill,
on what the investigation says.
It's too early to talk about Joe Flacco retiring. Let the season play out first. Let's see what happens. I mean, that's really digging into the crystal ball there. The Browns are just a hot mess. I mean, look, at least Flacco, they will do well with Joe there. You know, this dude had already retired and came off the couch, and now he's played for a couple extra years. Kind of like another quarterback named Andy Dalton who retired and then came back and he's still playing, right? It's been like he retired years ago. He's still playing. So
I think there's a chance that Shedeur doesn't even make the roster.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
not talent wise, like his attitude wise, like he complains, and they're like, you know what, you're a 5th round pick, dude, get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna hope that this draft here and him falling like he did was a major humbling event for him, and he learned that, hey, at least for the beginning part of my career, I need to keep my mouth shut and my head down, learn how to be a quarterback, and then once I'm starting and have had a year or two in the league, then if you want to be a cocky asshole, I'm all for it, but you got to have the ability to go out there and prove it on the field.
I mean, look, most of the time when these guys fall, though, the scouts and the GMs have it right when these guys fall on the draft board. Especially, usually when they fall, they maybe fall to first to go to second, maybe early 3rd round territory.
Yeah.
Your mic's doing that, Ken.
That's fine. I think his skill level is part of it. Part of it, his only coach he's ever had his entire life is daddy. So how coachable is he? I think there were a lot of bad factors that went into Shedeur Sanders besides his cocky attitude, I'm better than you attitude, pissing off coaches and GMs. I mean,
not even that, too. A lot of his passes were screen passes and very short, high percentage throws type of stuff. You can't do that nonstop in the NFL. So
no, there's teams that do, Ken. There's teams that do run a lot of that, like bubble screens and stuff like that.
but how successful are they?
Well, I mean, Kansas City runs a lot of bubble screens and stuff like that, and they've been pretty
Okay. I was going
successful.
to say, I haven't noticed Kansas City running that too much, but I only watch them occasionally to where you're the division rival.
But I
Yeah.
mean, the other thing, he's probably, I don't want to say Mitch Trubisky, but he could be another Mitch Trubisky, and that's why everyone passed on him. Because, Mitch at North Carolina looked pretty good for the small sample size, and the Bears took the risk and got burnt. And I think teams kind of looked at him and said, well, okay, yeah, decent numbers, great NIL, huge hype machine, attitude issues, doesn't put the ball down deep, so the arm strength might be there, the accuracy might be an issue, not coachable. By the way, when he came to the interview, he thought he was better than us. And so it's the influence of events that he kind of created, his dad kind of manager. Remember at the time, for the first 4 rounds of the draft, his manager is dad, and who wants to deal with Dion. And here's the thing: how many players or rookies have their agent be their college coach? That's another weird oddity about this whole thing with Shedeur Sanders. College coach was his agent. That's never happened before that I can think of. So I mean, there was all these things with Shedeur Sanders, and at the end of the day, I think the scouts and they said, look, he's not. If he was worth that headache, they would have drafted him earlier. But the talent level must not be there because they said he's not worth the headache. Draft him late.
Mm-hmm.
Or we live in Bizarro world. Or we live in Bizarro world, and in 3 years, Shedeur Sanders is going to win the Browns a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
My God, we will all look like fools if that happens.
Uh,
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I was wrong on a quarterback prospect.
Hey, but could you imagine his attitude after that?
My God.
Dude, his ego.
took
He took the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Got him a Super Bowl.
I mean, they'll look at like if he has the Ken Catalone attitude adjustment argument take hold, that's possible if he's got the skill level to when he fixes. But I don't think the skill level's there. I mean, we could all be wrong. I mean, everyone could be wrong.
Yeah, but I think the Browns are not as shaky as the Browns have been. They're not a bad roster. I think part of their problem has been coaching, and a huge part of their problem has been their quarterback situation. But the Browns have a sneaky good roster, dude. They have players on defense. They have players on offense. Like, I think that they're just a decent quarterback and a decent head coach away, So if they can get that in, if Shedeur happens to be just a decent game manager like Flacco, and, he just limits the mistakes to where he doesn't cost his team games, it just lets the horses run, there's no reason why they can't be a successful team,
Well, I mean, and the thing is they've got a good roster with, like you said, they got Flacco right now. I mean, so at least they've got something there with him and a good team around him and a stellar defense, right? I mean, they've got
great. I'm not so sold on the offense myself, but
but they've got a stellar defense.
Oh, absolutely. I'll agree with that. They got some pretty decent corners, and they should have a hell of a pass rush this year.
Yeah, and their linebackers aren't bad either. They got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah from Notre Dame. That dude's been a pretty good player. I think they're a sneaky decent roster, dude. Like, their offense, you're right. They have is it Njoku? Their tight end.
Njoku, yeah.
They're a little thin at receiver.
Because isn't Jerry Jeudy the best receiver they have over there
right now? Yeah, and they also they're losing Chubb, so they're gonna have to replace. I don't know. Didn't they draft a running back though?
I think they did, but I didn't hear that they were losing Chubb.
Chubb. I don't think Chubb is coming back to them.
Chubb.
I think Chubb's a free agent.
Yeah, a lot of people think Chubb is gone. But another team with a quarterback issue, and Bills keep is a comment machine on this morning. Is Pittsburgh. What's going on with them? Is Aaron Rodgers going to sign a contract? Is he not? I mean, they didn't really draft the future.
Well, and from some of the comments that were made on draft night from at least the reporter that was talking about Pittsburgh was saying that it's damn near a done deal with Rodgers. It's just waiting on the timing. Granted, I'm paraphrasing here, but that was the effect of the message. So I got to assume we'll see something done with Rodgers and them June, July would be my guess.
Well, and then you got Kirk that,
I think that's the severe backup plan because of you're going to have to trade something for him and take on that massive contract.
I would leave Kirk Cousins alone.
That'd be my thoughts on it.
Like Rodgers. Okay, Rodgers said he's willing to play cheap. He said he's telling Pat McAfee he's willing to play for $10 million. Well, let's see. Sign the contract, $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Rodgers could do well in Pittsburgh. I think they have a good tight end in Freiermuth. They just got what's his name, the receiver from Seattle,
DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I don't know why my mind blanked on DK, but they got DK and then they got Pickens. They got rid of Najee Harris, but I didn't see who they drafted as a running back. I'm pretty sure they drafted a running back.
Yeah, they drafted somebody at running back, but I don't remember offhand.
Yeah. The Browns got Quinshawn Judkins from Ohio State. And Chubb isn't on their roster. That's like I said, Chubb's a free agent.
Where did Najee go?
The Chargers.
That's right. He went to the Chargers.
Yeah, him and Omari and Hampton are going to be their 1-2.
Yeah,
that's going to be a pretty good one too. I think Najee is not. He's not a great number one, but I think having Hampton take the load, and then having Najee come in, I think that could be effective for them.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree with you there because Najee's not a bad running back. It's just I think he was a little overworked last year with Pittsburgh.
He was a little overworked his whole career in Pittsburgh. That's all they do is run the ball, man. Like Pittsburgh should be running 2 running backs, dude. Like,
well, to be fair, you got to run the ball that often when you haven't had a quarterback since Raplesberger.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. When your running back has to take 550 carries a year,
and there's been nothing on Nick Chubb lately either.
Mm-hmm.
Chubb is doing a pro day kind of workout to see if teams are interested. Somebody will take a chance on him, I think. I mean, he's not going to get a big contract, but somebody will see if he can get back to, even a percentage of the old Chubb.
24 hours ago, the wonderful people at CBS Sports predict the landing spot as 3 possible teams. You ready?
Yep.
The Bears, the Broncos, and the Chiefs.
Yeah. I literally saw that exact same article when I looked up Chubb if he was there or not, just after Joe said that he wasn't.
I think actually the Chiefs make sense because, look what they did with Kareem Hunt. Mm-hmm. They had Kareem Hunt come in and be the spell guy for Pacheco. So I don't know if they're going to keep Pacheco or not, but I think Pacheco is pretty good. Mm-hmm. He runs hard.
So,
you know who Pacheco reminds me of? He reminds me of Justin Fargas.
I know the name.
Huggy Bear. They call him Hugs because his dad is literally Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch.
Well,
Justin Fargas. The Raiders drafted him out of USC, and he played for about 6, 7, 8 seasons, something like that. He was good. But his running style reminds me of Justin Fargas, where he runs hard as shit.
Okay, I remember him now looking up and seeing his picture.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs make sense for him. Who are the other teams? The Packers was one of them?
No, the Bears.
Bears and the Broncos, and the Bears could make some sense.
Oh, the Bears, yeah.
It depends on how many running backs they're going to carry, what they're going to do with Roschon Johnson, what they're going to do with Ian Wheeler. Draft the guy in the 7th round. I mean, they can carry 4. I mean, you could sign Chubb and go with Swift, Chubb, Rojo, and the rookie, and Wheeler's just out. I mean, you could do that.
Honestly, if I'm the Bears, I'm taking the chance on Chubb. I'd sign him, let him go through training camp. If he looks like he can be a good number 2 for Swift, awesome. If not, just no fucking sweat off your ass for it.
The thing is with Chubb is the injuries, and he was injured some last year too. Let's check over the cap. I mean, here's the other thing is so the Bears right now have $10.5 million. They haven't signed the draft picks yet. But let me wow, that's interesting. You can do that. Let me see if he's got a valuation on them. Cap doesn't really have one. I have to go the other one. So last year his cap last year was only $6 million. So I mean, it depends on how much you could get him for.
Well, coming off of that major injury 2 years ago, granted he played a little bit last year, but
I think you could get him on a 1-year prove-it deal for like $2-3 million.
Mm-hmm.
This would Spotrac.
I think the Broncos make sense too because I don't remember the Broncos taking a running back. I'm not saying they didn't, but I just don't remember them taking one.
Yeah, his market value is about $3.3 million. So you could get him for about $3 million, yeah.
Yeah, I take a flyer on him for that.
Less if he's desperate. Just to get a contract. So Chubb in Chicago would be interesting. It's something to throw around. I mean, could you imagine him and Swift as a combo in the back if Chubb is healthy? I mean, that's a lethal punch. That gives Detroit a run for their money.
If Chubb can get back to even 80% of what he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Chubb was a hell of a running back.
And
You
could stash Wheeler. You could stash
There was a
Wheeler.
time.
You could stash Wheeler on the practice squad this year.
Yeah.
Get away with it, and then go with 4 running backs.
There was a time when he was up there with Saquon and like people were really talking about Chubb as possibly the best running back in the league before the injury. So I think, it's possible he could get back to that, but Denver also would be interesting. See, I don't know if the Broncos drafted a running back. They need a running back.
I don't think that they did. I can't remember offhand that they have.
Yeah, they have a second.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. And he could help there too. So it would be interesting. I mean, look at those. CBS. I really a lot of these reports I really don't like because they just pull their shit out thin air, it seems. But I mean, there is an argument for the Broncos. There's an argument for Kansas City, and there's actually an argument for Chicago. But in Chicago, I think it's more crowded because I think they're happy with Swift and Rojo and the kid they drafted, with the possibility of Wheeler, competing for a third or fourth spot in that room. But you could also stash Wheeler possibly on the practice squad. Like Wheeler was pretty decent in preseason last year against the 2s and 3s and 4s, but he was a fan preseason favorite. But how often does the fan preseason favorite pan out, right? So I mean, I like Wheeler, and he's a very smart kid. I mean, the guy's freaking going to medical school. He just might get pushed out if the Bears went that route. But then you come to the money piece. $10.5 million, and we haven't even signed the rookie contracts yet, which means Now when you look at the Bears cap number though, there's probably about 10 million of their signed cap, which goes away because it's the guys who don't make the 53, right? So there's some flex room there, and there's some stuff they can do to bring Chubb in on a $3 million deal. It wouldn't kill them. They might go about $1 million or $2 million over the cap to start camp, which is about par for course for a lot of teams anyways. But that would be interesting to see Chubb in Chicago with Swift. I mean, I don't know how deeply they really entertain that.
I think the best situation for Chubb, and this is just me saying for Chubb, like the best situation for a team would be maybe the Broncos because they need the running back that bad. But the best situation for Chubb would be Kansas City because they throw the ball so much, and then you have Pacheco there. So I think that he wouldn't be expected to contribute as much. And so, it's like whatever you get from him would be a decent surprise, I just think that it would be the best situation for him. In Chicago, they're going to put him to work because he's, Swift is going to be outside guy, so Chubb is going to be the between the tackles guy. So, it's like he's going to get a lot more carries, I think, in Chicago than he will in Kansas City.
You could split the ball with Roschon Johnson some though too, but then also what about Miami? Or what about the Raiders? I mean, there are a couple of AFC teams too that could use his services for a year or two.
Our running back room is like really full right now. Like we're gonna have to cut a couple guys in camp just because we're not gonna carry 7 running backs. You know what I mean? Like we have too many guys already. Like we got Mostert, we got Sincere McCormick, we got Zamir White is still under contract. We got
Mostert,
got Genty. Like
that's right. You got Mostert. Genty will be your 1-2.
Yeah,
Mostert.
I wouldn't mind trading. Well, not trading, but I'm saying swapping out. I wouldn't mind actually taking Chubb over Mostert, but just to see what he's got.
Man, Mostert has at least shown, even though he's been around forever, he's still pretty damn productive. Because look at him down there with the Dolphins.
Yeah, but he has some.
I don't know if I'd want to swap him out for Chubb.
He's got some durability issues of his own, though. So I mean,
yeah,
there are.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at potential upside. Like Mostert has injuries, and Chubb, like he has that one injury, but if he can come back and be even close to what he was before, that's a steal at $3 million. But somebody said, how about get Chubb and have Genty back him up? There's no chance, dude. They didn't draft Genty at 6 to be the number 2 back. He's going to be the number 1 back this year going in, no matter what. Mm-hmm. Unless he just absolutely stinks up the place. Which if that's the case, the Raiders have bigger problems than getting Chubb.
I was going to say that'd be a Raiders pick.
If Chubb or if Genty sucks in camp, like we're going to be in trouble. They put a lot of faith in that dude. But I wouldn't mind having Chubb come in because Genty can still learn from Chubb, even if Chubb's the number 2 guy, And I wouldn't mind having. Excuse me. Ooh. I wouldn't mind having a guy like Chubb as a mentor for Genty.
Isn't Genty more of a power runner like Chubb is too?
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like Chubb would be a good mentor for Genty. Chubb was doing it at a really high level for a long time. Like I think having a guy with that kind of experience to teach your rookie would be a good thing. I mean, I might even consider bringing him onto the roster, like not even for $3 million, just saying like, hey, look, dude, like we want you to come in and mentor our guy. You might get a few carries. We're not going to promise you anything. But if you're willing to come in and mentor our guy, we'll pick you up right now,
Yeah, but you got to assume that Chubb wants somewhere where he's at least getting a decent amount of playing time.
Yeah. Like I said, well, if he can show it, like, I mean, at the very least, if I was the Raiders, I would consider, there's 4 or 5 guys in that running back room that shouldn't even be on the roster. Like 3 guys at least who shouldn't even be on the roster. So I would stash McCormick on the practice squad and then I would try. I would say go ahead, bring Chubb in for camp at least, see what he can do.
And Bill, I wouldn't personally want to bring Chubb in to Green Bay just because we're already going to have a hard enough time finding carries for Marshawn Lloyd, who was supposedly the steal of running backs last year, but was injured all year. And he's going to have to fight just to be able to get carries from the production we got out of the guys behind Jacobs last year. So I wouldn't want it because I think it'd be too crowded of a room.
Yeah, but you can never have too many good running backs, man. Like, running backs get hurt, and you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like right now, if look at the Packers right now. If Jacobs was to go down with an injury, like how much do you trust your running game after that?
whew. I don't trust it to win me games anymore, that's for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. And Jacobs has an injury history, man. It's not, like he's missed quite a few games, over the course of his career with the Raiders. Like, he would miss about 2, 3, 4 games a season with ankles or, things like that.
Say, if it was 2 games, we could absorb that. But 4, with how tight this division is.
Oh,
Oh,
my goodness.
we've got a Woody.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's up, baby?
Good.
So what do you think about the possibility of the Bears adding Chubb into the roster?
Signal right now. Hold on.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? Fucking baseball?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. We're figuring we're going to see just how much the Yankees can sit there and dominate. I have no idea. I don't watch baseball at all. But anyways, what would you think about fucking Chubb
Yankees
being
suck,
added
dude.
to the Chicago Bears?
We were talking about potential landing spots for Nick Chubb.
I don't see it happening. It's not. It's like the Bears aren't giving Roshan a chance at all. Or either that, or he's just taking, or we're getting rid of Swift, which is who's more injury prone, Chubb or Swift? That's the question. So,
well, Chubb just had one really nasty injury. Like, before that, Chubb was, generally healthy.
Yeah, he had even worse injury in college too. So this isn't the first time he's had a big injury.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the pros. Like, he was a very dependable guy until that leg break. So, I don't know.
An injury can ruin you.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like we're taking a chance on Chubb right after his injury. So we don't know how he's going to be. It's not like he played any game after his injury.
No, he played.
I don't. How many games last year?
He played a few with Cleveland.
How'd he do?
He looked like he was just coming back from an injury.
See, that's what I mean.
He averaged 3.3 yards per carry.
Okay, that's Swift numbers. Okay, so what do we do?
But
I don't agree with it.
I kind of feel like there's a chance that, it's like the first year back from an injury like that. It's like you're going to be, kind of shaky on it, but give it another year. Like, I think this year Chubb could, if he's going to come back to form, I think this will be the year that he does.
I just don't. I don't agree with it. I mean, Swift is he did all right. We got behind a shitty line, so I want to see how he does. I just don't want to quit on him because we had a shitty line last year, and plus he almost hit 1,000 yards. Yeah. Plus he's better. I think he's better out of the backfield catching the ball as well.
See, I said myself that I thought Chubb going to Kansas City made the most sense because they have Pacheco there. Like, they throw the ball a lot. Like, I think you could maximize Chubb there.
Yep, absolutely. Even the Giants, but they've been making some big signings. So because they all they have is Tracy, really, as a running back. He was doing okay as a rook, but
Well, they got Scatterbo too.
like I said, Chubb could go to the Giants too. So Scatterboo, Jesus Christ.
The thing I worry about with the Giants, though, is that they would try to start him, and they would give him 350 carries in the season and like just totally ruin him.
No, he'll come out. He'll look like the Nick Chubb of old for like 6-8 weeks, and then he's going to have another injury, and this one's going to be the career ender.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Kansas City makes sense. How is Jacksonville? Are they content with ETN? Because I heard they're not too happy with them. They have Bigsby, and they're talking about getting Genty in the draft as well. So that might be another landing spot.
Well, you know, he was phenomenal. Then he got injured. So I think, you know, for them, it's kind of like they want to see where Genty is. Or not Genty, where NTN is as far as coming back from injury.
Get over it, asshole. Get in the fucking lane, douchebag.
Welcome to driving with Woody.
God damn it. Fucking drivers.
Oh, see, we need to have a show of just a camera set on Woody when he's out driving.
It's just phenomenal how every day I go to fucking work and the guys like to drift over in the left lane. Okay, excuse me, you got two other lanes to drift over. Go on that lane. I got a truck. You got a fucking C-Max that I'll just plow right over you. Whatever. On that note.
Oh. But since you're not a big fan of Chubb, would you want Kareem Hunt to be paired with Swift?
No, I want Roschon Johnson the way we are right now. Roschon Johnson paired with Swift. That's just my final thought on that. We don't need a running back in there. I just don't know why we got a running back. What? Ken, like second last pick, the guy from Rutgers. He's a beast. He's a beast. He's fast, but he's not going to be fucking starting anyway. So it's going to be between probably him and Wheeler going at it. I like to see Swift and Roschon. What are they wishing an injury on Swift that we need his fucking star running back on our team? I mean, I don't understand. I really don't. Everybody thought we were getting a running back high in the draft this year, which I said no, we're not, and no, we didn't.
So I think a lot of that comes down to that, you know, well, Ben Johnson hates Swift crap argument, which is a stupid argument that fans will fan and reporters will clickbait to get views and likes during this part of the year. American people are pushing to create, you know, eyeballs on the story. I don't see why. I mean, I've never heard Ben Johnson say anything bad about Swift. So I agree with Swift, and you're right. We've never really used Rojo, but we've seen some great out of Rojo when we have used them. So I think they're happy. But Chubb, though, Chubb is interesting on a $3 million flyer. If you go with the running back room of Swift, Chubb, Rojo, and the kid we drafted and stashed Wheeler on the practice squad, I mean, that's not that bad either. So, because then you could split carries between Rojo and Chubb, you know, to bash the middle. That might, and if Chubb comes back to form and is healthy, then you really hit a home run, right? But I mean,
Ken, I'll tell my mom to pray for you, bud. We got. Remember, we got safeties to sign and shit like that. We have other needs on this team besides a fucking running back. I just don't
agree with that. But I'm saying if the Bears were named one team, so I'm trying to see the rationale, and that would be the rationale for that would be, and that would look at. It sounds good, but you're right. You got some safeties assigned, but that's next year's problem. That's next year's problem. This year's problem, it doesn't matter if you sign to a 1-year deal for $3 million. You know, then that's fine. And Prost doesn't think the Bears have much faith in Roschon. You know, Wheeler. Yeah, I don't think Wheeler really makes the team. He's kind of like he was a fan favorite because of hard knocks in camp last year, but those guys rarely pan out. If they don't have faith in Roschon, they might just take the flyer on Chubb.
Yeah.
See,
It's
the problem last year wasn't it was our offensive line. It wasn't our running game. It might have been a running game because of the offensive line. He did okay with a shitty offensive line. It's like they're not giving him a chance. If I was Swift, I'd be like shitting my pants talking about Chubb, getting Genty in the draft, blah, blah, all these running backs in the draft, blah, blah, blah. I would have been shitting my pants. But if Bears really wanted a running back of the future, they would have drafted somebody high, I think, instead of Chubb that's in the league for a while.
Swift, I like Chubb coming because Chubb's a bruiser. It's going to hit the middle. An area that he got better at last year, but it's not his forte. He's a swing it out to the edge kind of running back, not a run it through the middle running back. So
Matt Forte, did you say?
No, I mean Swift. So Chubb would be a good complement to Swift, I would think.
I agree. And I mean, let's say it's a $3 million contract. It's not going to be fully guaranteed. And even if you give him a $1.5 million signing bonus and a $500,000 salary, like if you cut him, you're like $1 million, $2 million dead cap.
But do you think wherever Chubb goes, he'd want to start?
I don't know if he can realistically expect that right now.
Yeah, at this point in his career, I think he's happy to get a contract. And Nicholas, no, not Taylor Swift. No Swifties in Chicago, please.
Taylor Swift? Who the fuck? Oh.
I think Chubb realizes he's on a prove it year. He's got to prove that he's back from the injury, and so he's going to take what he can get. That's why he's willing to, play for $2-3 million bucks. I think actually, you could probably get him for $2 million. Like if his value is $3 million, but nobody's kicking the tires. Like, you can go and say, hey, we'll give you $2 million bucks. You come back up, you come be the middle, pound the middle out for us while Swift runs outside, and he might take it because he's going to try to build his value for next year. He'll go into free agency next year and try to get that one last contract for 2-3 years somewhere.
And to be honest with Roschon Johnson, as much as you and I like him, he's been in the league now, 3 years? Well, yeah, and he already had injuries last year that kept him out with the concussions. He was a late round pick, 4th, 5th round pick. So to the Bears, he might be seen as expendable anyway.
Yeah. If the Bears don't have faith in Roschon, it makes perfect sense for them to go kick the tires on Chubb.
What the fuck? Fuck you, asshole. 4 ways in the middle of the fucking road. I hate drivers. I really do.
Oh.
My God.
He had a pro day workout. He released a video of him working out at one of his old high school. Basically just to show teams that, look, I can still play. The injury is not a concern. I mean, look, would he be value added in Chicago at camp? At least in camp, he would be for maybe Roschon and the rookie. I think he'd be some value added there. Just even bring to camp because if you could sign for $2 million, guaranteed none of it. And if he goes, on a prove it deal, and if you cut him, you cut him. But I mean.
Hey, Ken, you brought up a good point there. Like, I think Chubb brings value to the Bears, even if you cut him during training camp, because he's going to let you know whether you can have faith in Roschon or not. Like, bring him in to compete with Roschon, and if Roschon can't even beat out an injured Nick Chubb, then obviously, you have your answer on Roschon. But if Chubb comes in and looks good, then you obviously, you got to steal. So it's really it's a win-win situation for the Bears if they were to do that. Because you're going to get your answer on Roschon one way or the other.
It's a win-win-lose. You know why there's a lose? Because Bears fans, the Paul Merkels of the world would take us right to winning the Super Bowl tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh. Every fan base has some delusional fans.
Yeah.
Or Richard Oliver, too.
Yeah, Richard Oliver, too, yes. I mean, hey, Bill, we talked about that on House Hall Report. If you want to take a gander at what we thought about the Bears draft pick, we just did that Sunday morning.
I just want to know how critics gave us a fucking A-. I really do.
I mean, because it was a functional draft for the Bears. They look at every position they drafted was a position you could say, okay, at minimum they added depth value. If not a guy who's going to contribute right away. Even I mean, look at when you listen to Broski, he thinks our 7th round pick is going to be expected to contribute out the gate. So, you know, that's why.
You know,
And we just signed 2 safeties, one from Oregon, one from LSU, one of the undrafted players.
Yeah, and actually,
well, go ahead.
Even with safety, like the safety when they got our contract this year, I don't think they're unhappy with it. And I think that Brisker, if he's healthy, he gets an extension. That's no problem. And I think Owens will get an extension, get a new contract.
Jesus Christ. Christ.
Look, Owens is a good safety. He's good rotational. He's not an everyday starter, but he's a good rotational piece. He can start a game or two for you, but you don't want him as a long-term starter. But the guy makes more big plays than gets burned. The thing is with fans, we always tend to see we remember that, he got burned on this one play, and we forget the 50 other plays where he didn't get burned, and because he was doing what he was doing, right? So, but saying that, he's not an everyday starter. He's a very good rotational piece. It was the same story you heard in Green Bay. Great rotational guy. I just don't want to see my starter all the time. So he's going to get signed. Yeah,
he's a good run-stopping safety, but his pass coverage leaves a lot to be desired.
He did good in pass coverage last year for the Bears, though, as well. He had some receptions, some nice pass breakups. I mean, we forget the nice things they do. We just remember the bad crap they do.
Simmons got picked up by the Broncos, actually, yesterday.
Oh, that definitely is surprising.
Wait,
I think it was the Broncos that picked up Simmons yesterday.
Doesn't Denver need a running back too?
Yeah. They need a running back like a crackhead needs a hit.
I can see Chubb going there too. Going there.
We were talking about that, but they're going to ruin him though because they're going to give him 450 carries right out of the gate.
Well, hey, I mean, he's got to do the offense. He's an offensive player. If you have to take 1,000 carries, you have to. I mean, he could do it. I have faith in him. In Denver, not in Chicago.
Broncos are one of the teams that were also mentioned. But yeah, I mean, Owens is going to get re-signed. I mean, let me look at the rest of that Bears safety room.
Hicks won't.
Yeah, Hicks might not. That one I could I could agree with. He's decent depth, but
Ken, I'm talking. Don't interrupt me, please. That was funny the other day with Sarah. That was hilarious.
Can I at least introduce the topic before you start talking about it?
No.
Yeah, I know. That was great. I loved it.
Fuck your topic.
Lucky I wasn't saying something. I would have said something a little bit more harsher, but that's just me.
Here's the safety room right now. Byard's on the last year of a deal, and he's 32. Brisker, of course, Jonathan Owens, who's actually 30. Travarius Moore, Alex Cook, and Major Burns. That's the safety room right now.
Well, Major Burns is the one we just signed.
Right. So, interesting room. I mean, they've like Byard, I don't know, at 32, I don't know how much longer he's got. Brisker, if he's injury free, fine. Owens, I'm fine with. And the rest is kind of like, but if the pass rush starts getting to the if they can start getting pressure, the safety room doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, and then to answer Bill's question, from everything that's been going on, I still think that Alexander is going to be a Packer. But if for some reason we release him, I hate to fucking say it, but I could see him going to Minnesota.
Yeah, the thing with Jair, he wants to be cut, not traded. So that drama is going to continue up there. God, yeah, player drama. Where would we be in the NFL without it?
I was gonna say it's that time of year. That's the only thing we got to talk about.
Yeah, but if he wants to be cut, that doesn't make any sense for the Packers because then they have to take on all that dead cap.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken, I wanted to bring this up on Sunday. I know we have a couple minutes left. Looks like Santos has a little competition to go through, huh?
Who'd they sign? I didn't even see it.
Kim from Michigan State.
Oh.
Dude, watch his kicks.
We were talking about Justin Tucker getting released yesterday. You know,
I don't want to. Yeah, because he beats up women. That's why.
Yeah.
He beats something with women.
It's yeah. Well, it's not strapped on or connected, but it's bigger than that. So.
And Jay, no, Joe doesn't ever show up without the beanie.
Yeah, because it's so hot out there where Joe is. He needs a beanie on. Right, Joe? Is it cold out there?
No, it's starting to warm up now, but I mean it's not hot yet.
Yeah.
It's nice right now.
Yeah,
But actually the reason I wear the beanie is because it's Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, so I just rep the team.
And for the June 1st, the post June 1st cut is the better cap hit savings. So yeah, but you know what? Orlando said, "Oh, but the June 1st cap cuts are coming." No, they're really not. They've already happened. They can designate them in advance, and that's what most teams have done. We said this last year, and we all hyped for it. And then the June 1st came, and it was like the top of Joe's head.
Joe, that's not a jiu-jitsu hat. That's a Sanhagen hat. Let me see that hat again. Let me see that Sanhagen hat. Yep, Sanhagen. Yep. There you go. Or Figueroa. I thought you'd go for him on Saturday night. We'll talk. I'll have to come on your show and talk some UFC because I'm ready to go to fuck off on that subject too.
I like Figueroa, dude. I like Figueroa. He just didn't play.
Yeah.
He didn't play the 50-50 right, and he got his knee popped.
Well, he shouldn't have went up to the another weight class. That's his problem.
He was doing good, man. He was doing good. He was in title contention, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, Sanhagen's a monster, dude. He's beat everybody but the champion. Sanhagen he's legit, you know.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at what time, Ken? Central.
It is at 3 Eastern, 2 Central.
Woo! Guess who's making a surprise guest appearance, baby?
Well, we're glad to have you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my Patty shirt on.
There you go.
Hey, we like Patty on the show, bro.
Yep.
Also, don't peace out, Eric Lisa Fisher, and that's a great segue. Thank you. Don't forget tomorrow. Of course, we'll be back at 10 a.m. on the Central, 11 on the East. We've got the MMA show tomorrow at 2 Central, 3 East. We've got House Hall tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 8 on the East. There we go. And we'll see if there's any more player movement. But thank you, everyone, for joining today. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for Woody for coming in while you're driving. It's so entertaining. To everyone else,
Fuck you. Get in your own lane.
Tuesday, bear down.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast.